So we got Rickey Smiley and his commentary concerning what happened with Kamala Harris in the election. This particular video is actually while Rickey Smiley is looking at the presidential election, and pretty much he is saying everything that happened with Kamala Harris looks very similar to what happened with Hillary Clinton during the election. He felt really, really bad for women voters, women in the United States, and he just didn't feel that the United States, according to the numbers while he was looking at the election, we were just not ready for a woman president, according to Rickey Smiley.
And I thought that we would be seeing a first woman get elected. I think this country is just as misogynist and sexist than it is racist, but she's pulling those Hillary Clinton numbers. She's not running up the numbers like Joe Biden did. And that's how Trump won Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And it don't look like none of those are secured right now. You know what I mean? It's just looking real, it's looking real grim right now. Yeah, Pennsylvania, Michigan, it's going to be really close. But she's pulling some real, she's pulling some Hillary Clinton numbers. Because all of those numbers that Joe Biden got 4 years ago, she's not reaching those numbers in those particular counties in between Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. See, Cumberland County in Pennsylvania, she got close to the same numbers that Hillary Clinton got. Man, we are. We're starting to get Erie County. Again, this would be the vote by mail in Erie County. The story we've been talking about elsewhere now. Y'all. This is the bellwether. It's one of the two that switched sides to Biden in 2020. It's when I tell you, just checking in Philadelphia, we're up to 2/3 of the vote now in Philadelphia. It's a real issue. I feel bad for all women. I feel bad for women with the right to choose. I feel bad for. It would have been just so inspiring to see a woman break that glass ceiling and become president. I'm not saying that the election is over, but I'm looking at hey Charlene, I'm looking at all the counties and stuff, you know, and her points are lower than what Biden had.
Smiley even mentioned that her numbers were lower than Joe Biden. It was a sad, sad day the other day when Kamala Harris did not win the presidential election for those of us who voted for her.
And so right now, to get to 270, Trump is at 210. Well, Andy Kim just won the Senate seat, but I don't think we'll get the Senate, and I'm not sure if we're going to get the House. This is crazy. The current governor of New Hampshire is Kristen Union, an incumbent Republican. The Republicans are really hoping to hold on to this governor's seat and incumbent victory in New Hampshire. They have. Yeah, if y'all nervous, you got every reason to be. Ballot measure. This one in Colorado. This is one of the 10 states that has. They're not even. In Colorado, this is Amendment 79, so right to abortion and insurance coverage, it's a related matter. They win that, the right to abortion and insurance coverage. So we're heading up toward the 11 o'clock hour. We'll have poll closings in California, Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. And things are starting, I would say, to come into focus because it's later, but we still have not a single swing state call.
Yeah, one thing I will just say.
Not one swing state has called in.
This always happens on election night.
So I'll check back in.
So Kamala Harris needed to secure the following states in order to become president of the United States. There were several pivotal states in particular which are likely to determine the outcome of the presidential election. It was Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Nevada. Together, these states represent a substantial share of electoral votes needed to reach 270 vote threshold. So several people are saying that Kamala Harris actually used a lot of celebrities in order to sway the vote in her direction. However, they are saying that due to the fact that Donald Trump had promised that he was going to make sure everybody had a job, he was going to make sure gas prices and food prices were going to go down, and he was going to make America great again. This is the reason why they chose to vote for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. If you're an illegal alien, what's going to happen to you? Are you going to be deported?
Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. Well, as you know, Trump has been reelected as president, and the Republicans have already gained control of the Senate. If you are a non-citizen, even a green card holder, or especially if you are out of status, I know that you must be nervous, anxious, scared, and maybe some of you, especially those out of status, are possibly thinking about just giving up and getting on the next plane and going back to your home country. Now, we're all aware that Trump made immigration one of the cornerstones of his campaign. He has vowed to complete construction of the border wall and also to conduct, as he called it, the biggest mass deportation of illegals from the U.S. in history. So everybody must be worried, am I now going to be deported? From the time he first came down the escalator in Trump Tower to announce he was running for president in 2015, as you all know, he has spoken harshly about people who want to immigrate to the U.S. And if you remember, Trump described immigrants as rapists, criminals, terrorists, and maybe there are a few good ones. Just a few. In other words, for the most part, he had a negative view of immigrants. And the fact that he was reelected with such harsh anti-immigrant rhetoric shows that most voters agree with his policies, including being tough on immigration. However, during his acceptance speech on election night, Trump did offer some hope. He said that he is really not against immigration or immigrants, as long as they immigrate legally.
We want people to come back in, but we have to let them come back in, but they have to come in legally.